All right, guys, here we go up against Black Roses here today, and I think that means that we get to play against Maile, and we'll see how we do here. Hopefully, we'll be able to win this match. A victory for us would, of course, go a long way in helping us out. We have a whole bunch of changes here, including guys like Davajav. I'm not quite sure how to say his name. There in the back, he is from, is that Mongolia that I'm seeing? Yes. So we do have a Mongolian here in the back, and of course this guy we talked about before, Saihan, over on the right wing side. So we'll see how this goes, and hopefully we'll be able to put out a pretty good performance. We have Jermaine Sione up front since it's not a big match, and yeah, we'll see how he does. He's been kind of a disappointment, just like so many other American Samoan players that we have on this team. This is a match that we should be winning, and we should have won that last match as well, and that's one that's kind of frustrating. We did decide to take Tualalele off of the roster. He was originally going to start according to what the AI wanted to do. We're not going to do that. He had a bad match last time, and I'm not happy with him. Fata with the ball. Takes it up, walks up with it, now runs a little bit, gets his run on, and passes over to Saihan, over to Fata again. Passes over to Paulo. Paulo dances with it over to Lei, now left side, down to Davajav, over to Kwan. This is what we like to do. And pass back to Davajav over to Lei. Lei will bring it up here left side, and there's that attack that we need. And he passes over to Paulo, who knocks in there for Milani, and he had it in a perfect spot, and he decides to explode on it. So Peyton Milani is showing us again why it can be so frustrating to play with players who are natives of American Samoa. I mean, he should be able to score that. I don't understand why he's trying to, kill the ball. It should be easy for him to just sort of pass that into the back of the net. Maile wins that header, of course. He's so tall. And this is a really, really poor play by our defenseman. And fortunately for us, we were able to not suffer the wrath of the Black Roses attacker. That was really, really bad. And I'm starting to miss Maile already. We really could use him right now. And it's a shame that he went so easily over. Of course, when you're playing at the amateur level, there's really not too much you can do. So, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, though, he won't score against us. That would be quite embarrassing. And here is a throw-in from Lei. Over to Paulo, back to Lei. Lei knocks this one forward, looking for Fata. Can't quite find him. And it's Shi Jin-hyun who grabs that one. Shin Jin-hyun, my apologies. And he is a player that we definitely brought on. In fact, there's a whole bunch of players here with them that we originally brought over here to the islands. So, or I should say to the islands. And it's Tual Maile scoring his second goal of the season in his first one against us. And that's really, really poor from our defense. And I have a real bad feeling about this one. I tell you, if we come into this season and we end up playing as poorly as we played in the third season in the end, after making all these changes, it's going to make me quite upset. And this isn't looking very good. Our defense is supposed to be able to prevent that from happening. And instead, we just stood around and looked at the ball. So we'll see what we can do with this here now. Kwan with it. Lumps this forward, looking for Sione, who looks like he doesn't even know what he's doing. And we need players who are not going to just stand around and watch the ball passed over their heads. Fata with it, passes it up and forward over to Peyton Milani, who he crosses for Sione, and can't find him. There he does finally, and Sione's header is way up and over. Sione's going to find himself off of the squad if he doesn't score goals in a hurry. I'll say that right now. I don't care how good the coaches think he is. If he can't score, he's not going to play. Silva with it, passes up to Saihan. Saihan with it. And plays around a little bit with it, back to Silva. Silva over to Paulo, and Paulo pass it up, don't shoot, and he takes a shot, and that goes in. Wow, okay, well, you can do that. Paulo scores, and that ties the score up at 1-1. That's his first goal of the season for us, and if we want to take shots from that range, if you can hit it, take it, but normally I would not recommend doing that. And that ties us up at 1-1. Moy had his hand on it, and kind of knock that in actually a little bit, and so that ties us up at 1, and let's see if we can get ahead and make something happen. Paulo Kwan having a really, really poor match, as is Ivan Lei. And Ivan Lei, I think he's still upset with me because of a bad talking to for the team. He's going to find himself out of a team if he keeps this up. Fata knocks this one forward and scores, so Zion Fata with his first goal of the season for us in his first match. I think it's his first game for us actually here, American Samoan native, and he's looking pretty good as well. So we do have a couple of players here on the islands who can play fairly well, but we need to make some changes here at halftime and get some of these really lousy players off. Kwan over to Davajav, over to Paulo now, and he finds Sione. And Sione, I'm not sure what he's doing, over to Silva now, to Paulo. Paulo dumps this one forward for Lay, and he just gave up on that one. So, yeah, you can see there are a couple players that are going to come off here in a second and are going to have a big talking to, because this is not very good. And, yeah, you're not playing well, and there's no real response from him. You're not playing well either, and you are not playing well. Yeah, lack belief. Look like you're not trying. You're going to be off the squad in a second. I just don't have time for this. I don't have time to like sit around and baby some of these guys. If you don't have self-belief, you can go find another club. We're going to put the full on, and even Lay is going to come off for Sostara, and that's how it's going to work. And some of these guys might find themselves without a team in a second. And like I said, I don't care how good the coaches think you are, what kind of potential you might have. If you're not even going to try, then we'll just kick you off the team. Devajav with it over to Paulo, down to Silva, over to Fata. Fata with it. There's the pass to Nordin. Nordin comes inside and scores, and that's his fourth of the season. Third match, fourth goal, and that makes it 3-1, and that's a little bit more like it. That's how we should be playing. And, yeah, Jermaine Sione is going to find himself without a team. There's no question. I'm not going to put up with this anymore. So Nordin comes in right behind the defense and does a very, very good job of knocking that one forward. It was kind of knocked into the goal by their defenseman, and that makes it 3-1. Now we have to watch out because they do have Maile, who, as we saw, is still a very, very good offensive threat, and he's so tall is the thing. So let's see what we can do. This is a lump backwards, and it's Tafola who goes back and gets this, passes over to Fatu. Back to Tafola. Tafola turns around, knocks it forward for Nordin, and there is Peyton Milani. Now it's Peyton Milani, so he's going to shoot it right at the goaltender. But that's the way that works, and that's why we have that shadow striker in there. We could just use having a better player than Milani, who gives me headaches. And that's a shot there by Black Roses that is completely off the mark. And let's see if we can get this ball back now, and we are able to win it. It's Bayer Sahan. He wins that over there on the right side and brings it up himself. Bayer Sahan with it still, and he passes it back to Silva. Silva passes it back to Bayer Sahan. There it is. And he is going to pass over to Silva again. There's the cross into Milani, who doesn't do anything with it. Dara with it over to Paulo, who almost scores another beauty. And that tells me, by the way, that we need to bring Milani off. And we'll have Paulo play up there, and we will put Fuimauno on in that role that's a little bit further back, and let's see if we can get something to happen. Uswardi over to Paulo, to Nordin. Nordin over to Silva. Silva plays with a little bit over to Bayer Sahan. Bayer Sahan brings it up. He's going to cross. There is the cross over to Nordin, and the header just misses. Oh, man, that just goes off at the top of the crossbar. What a play by Nordin. Bayer Sahan here throws that one in. I mean, that was a real difficult angle. Ends up with Fata here in the end. And his shot, unfortunately, is too high and too far, and doesn't have very much on it. But that was really, really good. That was really well done, and that's actually some pretty good teamwork for a team that is really having a hard time getting it together. Sostara with it now over to Tavajav. Tavajav back to Sostara. He'll find Fuimauno. Fuimauno looking for Nordin. He can't quite get it to him, and that was very, very well played by Uswandi, and the pass goes over to Fola. Uswardi now with it over to Silva. Silva up to Fulmau, over to Paulo, back to Fulmau now, and he lumps it forward for Nordin. Nordin needs to cross, and there's a cross over to Fata, and unfortunately his shot just doesn't have much on it. I'm not sure Fata understands how to shoot. that wasn't a very good attempt on his part. This is excellent though from Nordin, and I mean Fata should score that. He should score that every single day. 30 minutes left in this match, and let's see if we can do just a little bit more to try to get a bigger victory out of it than just 2-goal margin. Silva over to Bayer Sahan. Bayer Sahan's looking pretty good there on the right side. Passes it back to Fuimauno, and he takes a shot from there. Might as well give it a try. It doesn't have very much on it, unfortunately, and ends up back for a goal kick. So Jermaine Sione is kind of the story today. I know it wasn't an awful match, but with him being unable to score or try, he's going to be off the team. There's no point in employing him. Fata with the free kick, and that one is grabbed. Dion Fata now showing an injury, which is a problem. And let's see if we can. We do have someone. Milo Tiatia is going to come on. Tiate doesn't know how to play in this role, but you know what? We're not going to do Tiate. We're going to do Julio on. There we go. So Julio doesn't really know how to play in the rules. 10 minutes, he can handle it. And let's just see if we can push on to the very end of the match. Julio over to Tafola. And I guess that's part of the problem when you have a guy on who doesn't know how to play the position. We have given up possession really easily, and thankfully for us, Famuana has a shot that goes straight at Fatu. This was a little bit worrisome. So I have absolutely opened up Pandora's box, as you can see here. You know, we have so many players on these other teams that are from foreign countries, and it's all because of my meddling. And we're going to have another one or two who are released here in the near future because I'm tired of looking at really poor performances from certain players. And it's Stafola who has this one over looking for Byron Saihan. I can't find him. Let's see if we can win this ball back off of them. And we do, as they just knock it forward up to Fatu. So we have overcome them. We got past that Maile first goal. That was actually a pretty good shot by him. We had only a 1.17 XG, but wind up with 3 goals, and including that really, really nice goal from Paulo, and then, of course, Nordin, who put the match away. And it's a good victory for us, 68% of the possession. You can see we're dominant. I will talk with you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.